All right, let's get started. This is going to be season 4, episode
Mhm.
1.
That's right. It got
That's
renewed.
it's also the gas leak season in Community,
Right.
so hopefully we don't bomb. Um, Happy birthday, by the way. Your birthday was yesterday.
I think you just gas leaked on me. You're
You
frozen.
you froze too. That was weird. Maybe we should
Well,
restart.
let's keep it in. That's part of the whole gas leak story, I guess.
Well,
Once
from
things fall apart.
yeah, okay, yeah, it'll be a little funny because like you were just like still for a little bit. I was like, I wonder if you're
I
still
hope
there.
it froze on a good frame,
No, you
not
didn't.
like one of those
No,
awkward
it's not like
frames.
yeah, it wasn't a bad frame.
Okay.
Um, Cheers to you. Your birthday.
Mm. Thanks, man. Thanks for sending me a package too. It's very thoughtful you do that. And I love condiments. I'm a condiment man, so it's perfect. Uh
Yeah, I sent you the that Southwest mustard from Walmart. That's great value. It's
yeah.
very cheap. I
Yeah.
talked about it before, and I was like,
Mm.
maybe Matt will like this. I don't know.
I put it on a cracker last night. I tried a bunch of stuff. It's funny. I have bought myself a lot of condiments for myself this year, and then my mom sent me a big box of like condiments and hot sauce,
Hmm.
and I was like, this is like a lot of stuff, and there was no duplicates, which is
Oh, good.
kind of cool. Yeah, but thanks, man. That was nice. Nice of you. Very nice.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Um, should we
So
start?
basically, just a normal day. Once you get older, kids,
Yeah,
birthdays aren't fun anymore.
yeah. That's kind of. I think last year I took my birthday off from work, and I normally
Mm,
don't do that. That was like the biggest thing I did for myself. It's like, oh, I'm not going to go into work
yeah,
today.
that's nice.
Yeah, but well, let's get started, I guess, with our topics. So, like last week, we pulled God as a topic.
That's right. The big G. This is a big one. Full disclosure, I didn't really think of it until a minute before we started recording.
Yeah, I
So,
totally forgot that that was something we pulled. Um, how should we do this? Should we think of different religions? Should
let's
we say a
start with
few
saying
kind
what
words?
God means to us, and then we can expand out
Yes.
for as long as we feel like I don't know what God is or means or anything. So for me, God's a total mystery. I guess that's one reason I don't have very well developed feelings on God. I mean, there's something. I don't think it's chaos. I don't think it's like just there's
Hmm.
a lattice work, so to speak. There's someone I talk to doesn't speak back to me when I do have a prayer moment. So I don't know. It's a one sided conversation.
Do you feel like you get good feelings? Do you feel like you get some sort of
I think when I prayed when I
force
was
come back?
younger, I did have some kind of good vibes or something, but it's definitely just a one way conversation as I get older.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
I think most religious people would agree with that. I mean, they may not say it like that, but they understand.
Yeah,
They're not hearing like voices, you know.
right. Does God mean anything to you as you get older or less or what?
I have similar feelings to you, I think. It's very mysterious.
Yeah.
I kind of like to think of God as like the Force with Star Wars.
Okay.
I've not seen,
Hmm.
any miracles personally, but
So if God is the force, are you like Yoda
it's the
or what are
Force with it.
you?
Oh, I'm no one.
Okay, no, no, I guess that would mean you'd be really religious because
Yeah.
Yoda's powerful, right? So you're like Jar Jar Binks? I don't know. I don't know how to do a Star Wars parallel to God.
Yeah.
Um, I
Man,
don't know. I
I didn't think
think
I didn't
if
think of this at all. Like I didn't this is this is a tough one for
yeah,
me to wing.
it is really. It's. I mean, when I pulled it out, I was like, that's going to be really challenging. But then forgetting about it, not developing any thoughts on it, makes it impossible. Um, all I could say is whenever I get in one of those tough spots or whatever, and I start thinking bigger than myself, and I do pray. Mostly the prayer is just like keep my friends and family and their friends and family safe, happy, and healthy. Let's get through this, right?
Mm.
I don't think that's to God though. I think that's just to the unknown or whatever. And I don't want to sound like a hippy dippy chick, just being like it's energy. But yeah, whatever everything is, I guess that's the place. God is the place filler word for whatever that is. But it's definitely not a man. It's definitely not an entity. It's definitely not someone looking right now being like they're talking
Uh-oh. We froze again. Oh, you're still frozen.
conversation. He's freezing us up. It's weird. It's happened twice
I
now.
think I think we're getting smited.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm cool with leaving it at that from me because I don't really know where to go from there. Uh,
um, I'll raise my glass to God.
okay.
He's mysterious. Or I just said he. I realize I shouldn't do that. We just talked about.
Oh,
I
you
agree with
gendered
you.
him.
Yeah, I don't
Mm,
want to do that. Um, okay, moving on. Should we go political first or should we go
sure.
space?
Let's
Political.
let's do political first.
All right.
Um,
The only thing I had was the libertarian conventions currently happening.
yeah, I've been following that a little bit. I did watch RFK Jr.'s speech, which was very tepid response. He
I
did
didn't watch it. What?
he did kind of win them over in the end. He had some great tricks up his sleeve, but overall, they're just like I could sense they're just like, why are you here? You know, like
Uh, well, I saw he had some rubber chickens that say debate Bobby, like at one of his booths. I read some
yeah,
article that I thought that was clever. Like
yeah.
it was supposed to be
I saw
to Trump.
something about it. Like I guess they were supposed to throw it on stage when Trump spoke or something.
Yeah.
Pretty good troll. Um,
It did Trump speak yet, or is he speaking tonight?
I looked up clips and stuff, and I didn't find anything. I just saw people talking about him making an appearance, but
He
it
maybe
doesn't
he
look like
backed out
he's.
because like
I don't think.
I heard there's a lot of like angry like there's almost like a civil war happening at the debate.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot of people that don't want Trump there, and
yeah.
I heard
It's
Vivek got booed when he started talking about Trump. Like
well, because he's very like he defends him
yeah,
so much, and everything he said that was like because I watched they called it a debate between him and this guy Clint. What's his name? I forget. I'm sorry, Clint. Dave Smith moderated. It was barely a debate though, because it wasn't like they had positions. They said let's duke it out. It was more like let's just talk about our common ground. It was that's not really a debate. It wasn't really moderated. It was sort of just like it was a guided conversation.
mm,
But no, Vivek did win a lot of people over because he's a smart guy and he has some well thought out positions on things. But when it comes to defending Trump and stuff, everyone's like not about it, you
yeah,
know,
right.
including myself. Um, yeah, I don't know why there's like not more Trump at the convention footage because like seems like you should go to YouTube that watch an hour long video of him speaking.
Yeah, I don't know what the timeline is for when it was scheduled, but I thought that was
Yeah.
gonna be today. But I don't I haven't seen anything either. I was actually looking that up right before this recording. So
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out after we're done, or check it out tomorrow because I would like to see the response. You know, that's interesting,
yeah.
and also his angle. You know,
Hmm.
um, uh, yeah, it's strange. Trump, like, I guess he did a rally in the Bronx that was like a huge success. Like,
Really?
yeah, like everyone I saw that like every person on like MSNBC, CNN and stuff, they didn't really know how to report on it because they couldn't explain
What they were
how
seeing?
like yeah, they're like, how are there that many people there for him in like a very like liberal area, you know?
Yeah.
And how come it looks like it's like going over so it was like 8,000 people or more. It was
Wow.
like the aerial shots. It looked like as what do you call it when the president gets sworn in or whatever? The
Inauguration.
yeah, the inauguration. You remember that whole thing about him like lying about the numbers?
Yeah.
This actually looked like he had bigger numbers at the Bronx rally, which was very shocking.
Wow.
Um, I really do think he's gonna probably be the next president, and I hate that, just based on a lot of different factors. You know, it's like
Hmm.
that kind of excitement. You know, you just don't see it from the Joe Biden supporters. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it in our comment section. People just don't care as much. They're not fired up. Um,
They're fired up to
that's
trash Biden. That's for sure.
yeah,
I don't see a lot. I don't see them like necessarily fired up for Trump either, but they're definitely very vocal against Biden. I think they dislike
right.
Biden more than they dislike Trump.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think surprisingly at the RFK Jr. rally in Denver, whenever he spoke about either Canada, either current president or past president, there was a lot of very loud boos. You know, everyone was there for Bobby, right?
Right.
But I did notice more people disliked Trump in that room, and more people just were like indifferent or dismissive if he talked about Joe Biden. They're like, he doesn't matter, he's done. But
Yeah.
Trump, they're just like they hated him. So I was like, that was a different like demographic, different audience for sure, though. Um, I don't know. It does worry me. Seems like he's I mean,
He pulls from both
Bobby's
sides.
he's what?
I said he pulls from both sides.
Yeah. I mean his favorability rating is better than Biden's. I mean that's not a super important number, but it does show something. I did think that it was interesting that I saw from last week when we're talking about the CNN debate.
Mhm.
A lot of people, there was a bunch of polls, uh, and a lot of Americans, it was something like 71% of Americans said, we want a third party candidate on the stage or an independent or whatever. The majority of people are like, this is not okay. So I don't know. I don't think that's going to change anything, but no one's really fired up about either of them. It's just,
Yeah, unfortunately, if they're making up the rules, like
mm,
Trump and Biden, then I think that gives them way too much power. They shouldn't be able to
yeah.
make the rules for the debate. They should just
Yeah, it
have
is
to
crazy.
participate. If you're gonna be on the ballot, you got to participate in these debates. They should just make that.
And that was actually one point that the RFK Jr. made at the rally is he's like, obviously they're both the nominees for their party, you
Yeah,
know, but technically because they're doing this debate before the DNC and the RNC, they haven't really been chosen as the party's nominees technically because that the debates always happen later, so it's just
right.
it's implied right now, but technically that's a good point, you know, that moving the debate up sort of invalidates that whole position. Um,
Hmm.
but also, it doesn't really mean anything because we know Joe Biden is Democratic nominee. Trump is. It sucks, man. It really bums me out. Um, is there anything else, or can we just go to space? Let's just go to
Let's just
space.
go space. I read so Rocket Lab. We talked about them before.
Uh-huh.
They're based in New Zealand. They launched NASA's Pre-Fire uh, CubeSat satellite. There's going to be two of them, but this is the first one, and it's supposed to study the the poles, like climate change on the poles, I guess.
Okay. I saw an article. I didn't read it, but I saw this and I was like, this is something I should read for the podcast. I might have just left a tab open. Tell me more. Tell me
Pre-Fire.
more. Yeah.
So Pre-Fire, how about you guess what it stands for? It's going to be difficult.
Um. I'm not ever good at this.
Yeah, I'm
Those
not
never
either.
work out. I think one time I got sort of close with like a couple words, but that was just
Yeah, I
an
gave you a hint when
anomaly.
I said about the poles. So the
Okay.
P for pre-fire, polar, I wouldn't have gotten this. Radiant
Uh,
energy in the far infrared experiment. That's what pre-fire.
okay.
Yeah, nobody's gonna.
Wow.
They
It's so
totally
silly, but
added some extra stuff in there to try to be like,
they always do. They
yeah,
always do. They come up with the word first and they work backwards and then they try and make a fake acronym about it. It's
yeah,
always they leave out words and they purposely add in like a syllable or something.
yeah,
It's such a silly practice, but they love doing that in NASA
yeah.
in space.
But yeah, that was this morning, May 25th. This will be out tomorrow on the 26th. But yeah.
This was supposed to be the Starliner day, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I haven't looked up anything with Starliner.
It got pushed back
Yeah.
again. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but it's like I think we'll end this podcast someday and we'll be like that'll probably be like our final thought will be like, all right, well it's been fun. Hopefully Starliner gets it going and thanks for watching everyone. That'll be our last episode. And then they'll probably launch it, and they'll be like, "Oh, we got to do one more to talk about it," and then we'll just come back on, just be like, "Hey, they finally did it. It went okay." That's it. There's not a lot to say except for why did they delay it? Like,
It's going to be an outdated rocket by the time that thing goes up. It kind of already is.
I don't know when the new launch date is, but I think it was that helium leak. They couldn't get it under control.
Yeah.
It's like leaking like a submarine with a porch door. Isn't that the saying?
I've never heard that saying, but I believe
I
you.
think I've heard it in a movie or something about submarines, and I was like, "Ah, that's kind of funny." Or a screen door on a submarine, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Space, I didn't really see a whole lot except for that there was another big chunk of space debris. Like, and it's obviously the same thing. You could see it, like the pictures. Like, it's the last one that fell in Saskatchewan was like an 80-pound chunk of metal and carbon fiber,
Hmm.
6.5 by 6.5 feet. This one was smaller, denser, but the same materials. It looks like the same design, but it landed in like North Carolina on like a hiking trail. So
Do
we're
they
getting in
think
dangerous
it's
territory.
do they think it's a SpaceX satellite or
It's SpaceX. I'm pretty
okay.
sure that's what, and I think that's what they said for sure about the one in Saskatchewan. And since this looks identical, I mean, it's just like,
Yeah.
but this is like crazier because it wasn't like in the middle of a farm in Canada. It was like a nature area. So we're getting in dangerous territory.
Yeah,
Let's
we
regulate this shit, people.
we need to track it. So, yeah, I was reading an article about the effects of like the solar activity that the increased solar activity because I think it goes in like
Right.
11-year cycles and it's like starting to peak again. That's why
Hmm.
we're able to see the northern lights through most of the US.
Right.
Apparently that has a huge effect on satellites and their orbit. Like they'll lose altitude when there's like a solar flare like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hubble, for instance, like it's dropped 7.5 miles over the past year of altitude. I thought that was crazy, that number.
7.5 in a year.
7.5 miles, yeah.
I mean, that does seem like kind of a dangerous game they're playing. Um,
I think it's
how
still
much?
500
How much?
something miles,
Hmm.
still in the air.
Okay.
But yeah, I think there's gonna like I think in previous missions, like the one, what was it, in 2009 or 2010, where that movie Hubble that you used to have on,
I love that. That
yeah,
was like one of my favorite IMAX 3D films. Leonardo DiCaprio
yep, he
narrated it.
narrated it,
Really,
yeah.
really, really nice.
Whenever they did those missions, they actually try to push it back up higher, during those
Mm.
missions. So, but it
But not
hasn't been.
7.5 miles. That seems like that's a big push.
Yeah, but apparently this is normal though. Like that's part of like servicing satellites because like
Mm.
any satellite that's like orbiting, it's gonna like lose, altitude,
Yeah.
especially with these
Mm.
solar flares. Like I was looking at a chart, it's like whenever there's like a peak in the solar activity and then it goes down, it seems like they kind of like flatline. Like I don't think it's perfect where they don't lose any altitude, but they lose very little altitude
Mm.
when there's not a lot of solar activity, I guess.
I see.
But
Huh.
maybe that's going to cause more debris falling from the sky, especially because
Yeah,
there's
it
so
seems like
much
it.
stuff up in, there's so much space junk out there.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
That's concerning. Yeah, it's definitely going to become a problem. That's why I'm talking about regulation. There's going to be something we have to do to figure it out.
Yeah.
I remember we talked about a while ago. I don't remember the company that was developing it, but it was called like the Tumbler. It was just like a little like kind of like the shape of like a CubeSat but smaller,
Hmm.
and it was supposed to somehow like I think deal with this future crisis of space junk getting a little out of hand. But I need to look who that was. If it was Boeing, then we're screwed. Because I kind of have a memory of it was the Boeing
Yeah.
Tumbler, but it might have been someone else.
I remember you talking about that. And then there was also that thing that I think we both of us read about, the tractor beam. That's not really a tractor beam.
Right, right. The invisible, very disappointing tractor beam.
Yeah.
The use your imagination tractor beam. It's
Yeah.
there, I promise. Um, are you wearing a green shirt? I feel like we're wearing the same color shirt.
I am.
Or is
Yeah.
it gray?
No, it's
Nice.
like an army green, I guess.
Yeah, mine's army green too.
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was just a lighting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cheers to that.
We coordinated.
I
Um, you know what?
think that's all the space stuff I have. Did you have anything?
No, but I'm gonna do a quick little backtrack here. Kind
Hmm.
of brings in a couple things. Uh, we talked about Justice Alito turning his flag upside down, blaming it on his wife last week. There's actually a history of him put like raising flags on his property to like send messages, and he did this also again with the appeal to heaven flag. Have you heard of this?
I heard about it, but I don't. I did very little research. I
It's Yeah, I just wanted to follow up because we talked about
Yeah.
it last week,
Tell
and
me
also
about it
it's
if you.
heaven, God, space. It all ties together. This is intentional.
Yeah.
Um, I guess apparently it has some kind of a meaning to do with re-elect Trump, which doesn't make sense to me. How would you get an appeal to heaven with a guy who doesn't?
That sounds like some QAnon, like Pepe
Yeah. Well,
Sylvia.
that's the thing. That he Alita is Alito. Wait, no, I think I just got it wrong. He's quickly showing himself to be a wacko,
Yeah.
which you don't want in the Supreme Court. But yeah, it's so weird that there's a lot of like proper Christians, who really see something in Donald Trump, and I'm like, what do you see that? I mean, if he had to talk about God, he would have done worse than we did in the beginning of the episode. He doesn't have an opinion on this. He doesn't care. So it's so weird when you have like someone being like raising a flag that's the appeal to heaven. If for anyone that doesn't know, it's a white flag with like I think it just has like a pine tree in the middle of it. And I don't know the origin, the history of it,
It's called the
but
Appeal to Heaven flag.
it's the appeal to heaven flag, and it's something to do with a re-election push for Trump. So
Man,
I don't know.
I think people are just making shit up.
Evangelicals are making shit up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Uh, just doesn't track at all. But anyways, I did want to just do that quick follow up. Alito or Lita? No, it's Alito. Yeah,
Yeah, he was oddly enough, he wasn't nominated as a justice by Trump, but by George W. Bush.
W. Bush.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you think the
Hmm.
crazy ones would have been Trump, but not in this case.
Right. But also, I think Trump has just made people in general crazier. You know, he's kind of normalized craziness in politics in Washington and stuff. So I think some people, I mean, in a sense, it's like Alito is like letting his freak flag fly now because he's like, oh, we got this crazy guy who was like a disruptor. And he's like, oh, I could be nuts now too.
Yeah.
Let's put up some weird flags that only I think QAnon people. You're right. I think it's a very small but loud
Well, I can only think
cult.
of QAnon as the people that would make all these weird,
Yeah.
associations that to me don't make sense, but they're some conspiracy. I don't know.
Did you ever see the movie White Squaw?
I don't think so.
It was like a '90s movie with I think it was Jeff Bridges, and he was like taking out this group of like young sailor men on the like to be sailors. It was like a like I'm a sailor. I'm gonna go teach you how to be sailors, and kind of like devolves into like Lord of the Flies kind of whatever.
Hmm.
Anyways, it's a random movie from the '90s, but for some reason, it is the movie that is most of QAnon comes from. This one random
Really?
sailing movie. Yeah, a lot of it. Uh, I don't know the connection. I saw the movie a long time ago. I remember it vaguely. I remember renting it from Blockbuster and watching it with my family. But it's just one of those random things, like we're saying, a random connection that they're giving more meaning to. And also, I think they like to use it so they can have like their own secret language.
Hmm.
You know, the squall is coming. It's like, but you're talking about that random movie where they kill the dolphin. Oh, that's a spoiler. The boys get a lot of hand and they murder a dolphin for fun.
If we haven't
Um,
seen it since, or if I haven't seen it since it came out in the 90s,
yeah, yeah.
I might
I
watch
kind
it
of
now that we talked about it, but
Yeah. Well, the dolphin isn't a pivotal scene. It's just sort of like you're not gonna be like, oh, it was all about the dolphin. No. But yeah, it is weird. There's like so much symbolism and nonsense going on in these. It's a cult though, so get it.
yeah.
They like to anyway, we can move on. I don't want to say more mean things about it.
How about we say some mean things about Terrence Howard?
Okay. All right.
He's
So Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. I didn't have patience for 3 hours of the nonsense, but I did have to see a little bit. I wanted mostly to see how Joe dealt with that
I was
craziness.
surprised, like that he didn't
Yeah.
push back a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what he does, though. He lets them talk and
Right.
tries to be respectful, but
Yeah. It's interesting because like he's a good actor. Okay,
yeah,
like I liked him a lot in this movie, Prisoners. It's a great movie, made by Villeneuve. Did the Dune movies as well.
okay.
Um, he's just so visionary. Anyway, Terrence Howard is in the movie, probably his best role. And I don't know, when I see him on what I saw him on Joe Rogan's thing, it's like it seems like he's just acting like a genius. He's like kind of playing the part of a crazy genius, but it's all just so out there.
I think
I
he
don't.
he genuinely thinks that he's like really really smart. Like
Hmm.
you don't think you think he's
I
acting on that? I think he
I
really
I
believes that. Like
I
he's
don't know. I think he is just
he
like he's a crazy Hollywood guy who's just living
he thinks
out roles in real
he
life.
thinks he's
I don't
super
know.
special. He talks about how in that interview that he like remembers when he was in the womb, when he was a
Yeah, I saw
fetus.
that part. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, he said he remembered his circumcision, which I thought was wow, what a detail. Um,
Did there was one part like I watched chunks of it. I didn't watch the whole
mm,
thing, but I did see part where Joe Rogan asked him. He's like, "How do you?" Because he talks about recreating planets. Like he knows the science behind it. He thinks the theory
right.
of gravity is like nonsense. Like he thinks he's on to a
He thinks
he's gonna kill
everything.
gravity. Yeah, he thinks
He thinks the
mathematics.
standard model is nonsense.
Yeah,
Math is nonsense. The periodic
he
table,
doesn't
everything is like
he doesn't understand multiplication. He thinks one times one
right,
equals two, right? Isn't that
right.
his thing? He's like, it can't equal one. But I think he just does not understand what multiplication is. Like one time is
Uh,
one, right?
right.
If you had one time, that's one.
Mm.
He he
Yeah,
he gets
it's.
into it and he's like, oh, see, it equals two. If you know, like as he's
I
writing
know
them
he's
out,
trying to rewrite the rules. He's been doing this actually. That one times one
teriology or
thing.
whatever. That's
Yeah,
it's been
that's
around for
something
a
that's
while.
been like maybe 10 years.
Yeah,
He's been talking about.
I think he still
I'm gonna
believes it
quit.
though. He still,
I don't think he's expanded much on his one times one theory. He kind of been repetitive on it for a decade,
yeah,
and he's also been threatening. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to retire from acting because I have more important calling, to like
yeah.
rebuild math and science and everything." Um, he's I don't know. It could be delusions of grandeur. It could be because
He
he's
thinks
a
that he's really
Hollywood.
smart. Yeah, he thinks that he's like super special and
There's something about it though that where I get this like Jesse Smollett kind of quality to it, where I feel like it's all just pretend and he's just playing the character. And also, they were on Empire together. They're good friends,
oh
so there's a connection. Um,
yeah, maybe that's the case. Um,
maybe I think he might just be a sociopath, also, who just like he likes to play characters all the time.
yeah,
We don't know the real Terrence House, or you could be correct. Maybe he really is just like that up his own ass, where he thinks I'm the smartest man alive.
I think he's just really arrogant and thinks that he's
Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, I realized I started saying the scene that I was talking about with Joe Rogan. He asked him how to explain how he thinks planets are formed
Mhm.
with his model, and he basically said the sun defecates planets, so it just
Oh.
poops out
Did he
planets.
say
He said
defecates?
defecates. Yeah, there's a scene where he says
Wow,
that. Yeah,
that's a really
it's
weird
defecated or
thing to say.
yeah, he used the word defecate. Um, I wish I had the quote,
Man,
but I watched
yeah,
it just like not that long ago.
that's wild. I
Yeah,
didn't see that part. Um,
I don't think he literally meant like it takes a shit, but like
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's pretty crazy, Terrence Howard. I'm just I'm picturing something now.
yeah. He thinks the Jupiter's big red spot, the storm, he thinks that's going to turn into a moon. He said that in the interview too,
Why?
because that's his defecation science that he
It's a
thinks that the planets do,
it's like a big hurricane. It's not like
it's
a that doesn't make any
and it doesn't
sense.
make any sense.
I mean, I
Yeah,
would understand it if he was talking about like, oh, there's like a volcano, right? and it's like it's pushing stuff out into the atmosphere, and you'd be like, okay, well maybe that'll get captured, whatever. But this is a big storm on the surface.
Yeah.
Uh,
He also said he thinks this because it's like near the equator and the equator's bulging out, but it's actually not near the equator. It's below, I think.
uh,
It's not definitely at the equator. Because I was looking this up. I'm like, is even part of what he's saying? I know it's all bullshit, but is
yeah,
he's even getting his own facts to like explain stuff like wrong,
hmm, weird,
alternative facts.
very strange. I didn't see that part. I'm gonna have to like look up a couple more of these clips. Um, I did see a part where he was talking about his many patents
Oh yeah,
that he holds, and then I saw on another show where they were researching his patents, and they were all just total nonsense. You
yeah.
know, like one of them is basically like, oh, so he invented drones. He invented drone technology too. Yeah, I think you're right. He probably is. He probably is just a crazy guy who really does believe
Oh, there is a
his own.
throwback to God in there too. I think he says like each of us has a little bit of God in us.
Oh, so we're all God. We're doing that theory. Okay. Hmm.
I guess
I don't.
it depends on how he words that. I guess because people say, you know, when you ask when you become a Christian, you ask God to be a part of you or into your heart. But I think he
Yeah.
literally thinks that like yeah, God is like you're part God.
Yeah. Like less from a spiritual thing, but like a tangible thing.
Yeah,
Weird. Yeah, I was surprised that Joe had him on there because I knew about this whole like weird reputation he had.
yeah. Was that the
But you know,
first
he
time
did
he's
have.
been on there, or has he been on there before?
I think it's the first time.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, you know, he had Cat Williams on recently, which was another wacky interview. I did watch that whole one because that was a little more fact driven, but still wacky. So I guess he just likes having that for the ratings and stuff. You know, it's
Yeah.
probably good for Spotify. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, Terrence Howard, that was a wild card. I didn't expect that one. Um, okay.
Okay. Moving on. Let's see. Think that's actually everything I had. Do you want to we can
Let me look really quickly because
yeah.
I feel like I'm forgetting one thing here. Um, I got one thing, but we'll save it. It's not that it doesn't really fit here. It's
Okay.
about hot pockets. We'll save it for later.
You're going to talk about their the microwave technology they have, the little sleeve that makes the hot pocket crispy, but not really. It's still rubbery and not.
Yeah, it's rubbery and molten on the inside. Um, I'll talk about
That's fine.
hot pockets next week or something or
Okay.
whenever.
All right. Well, let's do the our What Women Want segment, inspired by the Mel Gibson movie. Um,
Cool.
I don't even know if I've actually ever seen that movie, like all the way. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, I think I saw it in theaters actually.
Really?
Kind of have a memory of going to that. Like, I'm gonna guess that's 1999. Good year for movies.
I think it
Seems about
was
right.
late 90s. All right. All right, so we are going to be we came up with some things that we believe women love and like. We didn't ask. I didn't ask anyone. Did you ask some women? Maybe you
I,
did.
I did.
Yeah, just
I
to get
asked
some
someone
ideas.
because
Yeah.
I had some on there and I was like, are these just incorrect stereotypes or are these good?
I
And she's like, no, no, those are all accurate and here's a
yeah.
few more. So
Well, yeah, I think these make perfect sense. I'm sure not every woman is gonna like all these things, but
right.
statistically,
I mean,
we do.
also, you know, we're manly men, but we're also like, you know, comfortable with our sexuality enough to say I like some of these things. You
Sure.
know, a couple of them.
Um, I enjoy Overwatch. I know that you weren't a fan of that. Um,
I mean, I don't even know if I can judge it. We played it for like 2 hours,
yeah,
you
I
know,
played it
and
a
it
lot.
was
Yeah, but yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah. The one time I played it, it was like just like a couple hours, and I think I was just trying to get like the game mechanics, the sense of it.
yeah,
Um, but that is definitely a stereotype I know to be true. Uh,
yeah. So well, so for our tier list, I'm just doing A, B, and C because we shouldn't have. We just pick things that we believe women want, like, but we'll still rank them. Um,
right, and also we don't want to put anything that women like in an F column because women are awesome, and we don't want to. What's that saying? Like a, when you, I don't know, I don't know the saying, but
Um,
no, I like this. We'll do A, B, and C. That's fair,
yeah, and
based on our man opinions.
this could be a great resource too for dudes that don't know what women like.
Yeah,
What
or a
better way to
woman.
hear that from another dude?
Let's say you're a woman and you're a little bit of a tomboy and you want to sort of like embrace your femininity.
That's a tough one, man.
Then watch this segment and then you can become a more empowered woman.
Exactly.
We're doing this for the ladies and the men and the cliques.
Yes.
Let's
Let's get
you want
some
to
stuff on the board. Let's do something an A tier. I'm thinking Pinterest. Ladies love Pinterest.
Pinterest? Yeah,
They love it.
that's true. I've never used it, so I don't completely know what it's for. It's like recipes or crafts.
I have an understanding of this. It's basically I think of them as like a digital vision board. So like
Okay.
you have little things on the internet, you can pin them, basically a link and it makes a little thumbnail and you can have all these different boards of like stuff like maybe it's how I want to make over my home or I want to bake all these
Mhm.
things or I want to cook these things. And
I
you
see.
have like a visual representation of a bunch of like links.
So the stuff you're interested in, you pin
You pin
it.
it and you can share those
I
pins
get it.
with people that follow you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I would say if we're just gonna go in order, let's see that. I would say wine. My first instinct would be C tier
Really?
because I think it is just too broad. I mean, if we said something like
A
maybe
Riesling or
yeah,
something?
like a specific
Yeah.
something, but I'm like I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of dudes who will drink red wine. A lot of women I think would drink like white wine, but maybe I don't really know.
I
But it does. It seems like it's kind of for both of us, you know?
It is, yeah, but more often than not, as for an alcoholic drink, I think a lot of ladies
Right.
drink
Yeah.
blue
If
wine.
like you were going to like a wine club for like a whatever, like if you type in right now, let's look up a Denver wine club. I'm guessing the majority of people are going to be the ladies.
For sure.
Just guessing. Uh, astrology. That's the same as horoscopes, right? That's all the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, the
Okay.
ladies love
So
that.
that's A tier. They love that stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Um, and I don't know what the distinction is between astrology and horoscopes, but
I think they're all related, interconnected.
okay.
Kind of like
True, true.
baking and stand mixers. I put these two
Baking.
on. Do you-
See, I love stand mixer. I have a good point on this one though. I have the KitchenAid classic stand mixer everyone has,
Yeah,
but I have a very special 100-year anniversary one that's called the Queen of Hearts edition. It's got a bunch of hearts, and it's definitely a woman stand mixer that I have.
yeah. No, the ladies
Um,
love stand mixers. I've heard it
yeah,
from multiple people in my life, family, my wife. Um, they love
but a
stand
lot of
mixers.
the men, especially when you get into the KitchenAid stand mixer territory, a lot of men love the accessories, the little add-on
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
That's like I have a whole drawer of just like
You got the dough
little
hook. You got the
all the little things you can put on
yeah.
there. Yeah, it's really fun. Um, so
Baking.
yeah,
Should these be A tier? What do you think? Or B tier? B for baking?
I think stand mixer. I might put it B because it does like appeal to both. I think, but baking I say is more A tier
Yeah.
because
The,
I
the
mean
ladies
when we're
love
talking bake,
making some desserts.
that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
because I mean I make like breads and tortillas, pizza dough and stuff. But when I think of baking, I think of that more as like
Cookies.
I'm making some strudel
Yeah.
stuff or
Pastries.
whatever, something something sweet, and that's not me. That's not you. I don't think.
Yeah.
Um,
True crime podcasts. I think a lot of ladies like this.
they do.
A or
It's
B.
such a cliche. That's true.
I'm gonna throw more things in A. I just feel like that is something that almost universally
Yeah,
the
for
ladies
sure.
like.
Wait. Okay, so The Sims and Overwatch, I feel like they kind of are. They have to be at the same level because they're definitely games for girls.
We'll put it at B. I
Okay.
know not every girl likes playing video games, but
That's
they're into
true.
that,
But the ones
more
that do,
likely.
I would say they probably like both of
Yeah.
those. Um,
Jewelry.
Uggs. Uggs are just those
The shoes?
furry boots, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's definitely. I think there's only one man in history who ever wore them. It was Tom Brady. I think he got really roasted for it. So yeah, that's definitely a woman's thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know what
I don't know if
level.
they even.
I,
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to put it A tier because I think other stuff we have there is more A tier.
yeah.
But so I'd stick it in the middle. I wonder if they make Uggs for men or if you just have to buy like a really large women's
Yeah, when I think
Ugg.
of Uggs, I think of like the boots that have like the cushion that are
Carpety stuff.
yeah. But that is just a
It's like,
brand and they make shoes. They make other types of shoes too. But
oh,
I don't know
okay.
what I just said Uggs because I actually what happened was I was thinking pumpkin spice latte and then I thought of
Yeah.
a girl holding a pumpkin spice latte and wearing some Uggs. So
Yeah.
that's why I put that on here.
Do you want to stick those together then? Or do you think that pumpkin spice latte is more A tier?
I think pumpkin spice latte may be more A tier. As a coffee
Yeah, it
drink, don't you
is
think? Don't you
definitely.
think that's like,
Yeah. I mean, whenever it comes out every year, I always get one
oh,
because I'm like, oh,
I
it's,
think it tastes good too, but
but then
I
I
don't think I'm the
immediately
target
regret it. And
demographic for it.
I'm like, oh, I just want to get a black cold brew. Just a black cold brew, maybe put a shot of espresso in it every time I do it. But I'm always like, I think I'm just excited it's fall,
Yeah.
really, I think that's what it is. So, but it is definitely like a go-to for a lot of women. Um, as is
Jewelry?
makeup tutorials. It's something neither of us have ever watched a makeup tutorial in our
Makeup
lives,
tutorials are going to be A tier, I think.
for sure.
What about jewelry?
Jewelry is one of
Necklaces,
those things. I mean,
rings.
I could see that being more B because it is something. I guess. I mean, technically, I mean, I'm wearing a ring,
It's not
so
exclusive to ladies, what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. I would say if it was making jewelry, that would be probably A tier. Women like to make jewelry, you know.
Yeah.
But if it's just jewelry in general,
Oh, shoot. I should
you
have,
know,
it's a little too late to do this, but I should have had crafting. Crafting is,
that's good.
that would have been
Well, we could give that an honorary
mentioned.
place.
Celebrity
Celebrity
relation. I
relationships.
think that
I
might
don't
be,
give a fuck
I
about
think
that.
that might
That
be
is
A
so.
tier because I do think ladies love like
I think it's so boring.
entertainment news,
You know,
celebrity relationships, that stuff is like,
yeah. I was thinking too that celebrity relationships also it's sort of like a I think it would include things like the royal family.
oh
That's
yeah,
like celebrity.
that
That's like that stuff that women love. I don't
yeah, because
understand
they think
why.
it's like real life princess stuff, which
Oh, is that it? I don't.
I
I don't
think
know.
it is, but you know, it is like a celebrity thing because they don't mean anything,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Um.
Crystals?
Well, crystals. I mean, that one might be B or C because I know it's definitely more of a woman's territory, but I don't think
I,
all
I
women
don't think
for
so either.
sure.
I think we
I
should
mean,
put that at C for crystals because
yeah.
it just works.
Um, I don't really take pictures of myself very often. I think I do it probably like, you know, 4 a year, and I don't even. I just call them pictures of myself because I'm a guy, you know.
Yeah.
So that term right there, I think that is definitely a term for women and Australian people,
Hmm.
and I would say that is A tier.
All right.
You think?
I think so.
How
Eight.
often do you take pictures of yourself?
I don't do it very often at all.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of a cliche is women taking pictures of themselves with very little difference. It'll be like the same angle, kind of like the same thing in just different locations.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, I don't know, I guess you're just documenting your life, but it's not something I see dudes doing.
Yeah. My favorite thing that I like to laugh at. By the way, I'll preface this by saying I love women. I love
Oh,
my
I do
wife.
too. They're
I
great.
love
I
the
love my
ladies
mom.
in my
I love the
family.
girlfriends of the loves of my life. My sister's awesome. Great grandmas, uh, grandmas that are great,
Yeah.
and great grandmas too. They're great. But no, also women could be silly with the things they like,
They
as demonstrated by this exercise.
yeah. I think the funny thing that they do sometimes is taking like being with a group of them and them taking pictures of their feet and like
Oh, they do that?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen they'll have their feet, their shoes sticking out. They'll like take a photo of like all of them
Hmm.
together. It's like a group feet pics. That's
Yeah.
mostly I don't think there's any men that are they'll definitely maybe look at feet pics. But the people that are
Yeah.
the models for feet pics models, that would have been a good one. That should be an honorable mention there.
Yeah, that's honorable. Feet pics are honorable. I just said that. Out of context, if you want to take that, isolate it, make it like a drop. Matt's into feet now. That's crazy. He said they're honorable. Uh, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more. Maybe if someone
In the
gets
yeah,
has strong feelings about this, you could tell us what we forgot or what we're way off base on this. Call us sexist pigs if we are. I think we did this in a respectful way.
I think so. But I would
I
love
didn't
it
say
if
any of this
I would love
stupid.
it if this stirred the pot a little bit and we got some views for it.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this.
Yeah.
I don't think anything here is stupid or silly. I just think we know our place. You know, some guys are into cliche things and stereotypical things. Maybe we should do that sometime. Um, guy, what
We
what women want, but
what
men
what
edition.
what men want, and maybe we could have some ladies on that can do it for us
Yeah, or we
and
could just
publish
like
under
have
us.
like you talk to your wife, I'll talk to someone, we'll get correspondence
Okay.
to like well, we
To
don't have
make
to get
this
them on the
list.
show.
Yeah. That
All right. Well, you know what? I don't feel as strongly about this as I do with a lot of our tier lists and things because it's just not my world. But I think we did pretty
I
good.
think we know ladies pretty well.
You think?
I think so. I'm not, yeah, but I'm not saying that I think that this is like the gold standard.
Right.
But I feel like we did a good job of coming up with some topics.
Yeah. I like it.
All
That
right.
was fun. Um,
Well, let's wrap this thing up. We're at
let's pull something
47
out of here
minutes.
really quickly so we have something for next week.
Okay.
Um,
Something lighter, please.
oh, cool. Another big G. It's a big G,
What is
dude.
it? Guitars.
Guitars.
Okay, cool.
Maybe just like pull them out, do a show and tell or something. Uh, yeah. I like that more than God. I'm sorry, God. I don't know how to talk about you, dude. Guitars are just so much easier. I mean, guitars have more in a more direct way changed my life than God has. I don't know what to say. Um,
Less
but no,
elusive.
I do appreciate you building this world for us to live in. God. All right. Was that sacrilegious enough for the ending?
That's
The
pretty,
outro?
yeah, it's a pretty sacrilegious, but
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
Let's end this with the Lord's Prayer. No, I'm just kidding. We won't do
All
that. Um,
right. Well, keep us all safe, happy, and healthy, God.
thanks for watching, everyone.
Protect us from the female wrath that is gonna like attack us when they see our sort of tier list thing.